Set in Sheffield, a northern English city, Dear Nobody, 1991, by Berlie Doherty, is a poignant young adult novel that explores the unexpected pregnancy of Helen Garton and her boyfriend, Chris Marshall, and the profound effects it has on their families. Told from two distinct perspectives, the narrative alternates between Chris's first-person account reflecting on the pregnancy in hindsight and a series of letters Helen writes to their unborn child, whom she refers to as Nobody. The story begins in autumn and is structured around monthly chapters that track the passing of time. The novel was awarded the 1991 Carnegie Medal for Best Children's Book and the 1994 Japanese Sankei Children's Book Award. It has garnered praise for its wise lyrical prose and insight and intelligence, Kirkus reviews, while being described as complex and often unwieldy, Publishers Weekly. School Library Journal highlights the book's some of the loveliest, most lyrical prose to be found in YA fiction. Dear Nobody has been adapted for stage, television, and radio. The story opens in autumn, with Chris, a 17-year-old high school senior, reflecting on his relationship with Helen, his girlfriend and classmate. After they have sex for the first and only time, Chris fears that Helen might be pregnant, although he remains deeply in love with her. Chris lives with his father, Alan, a hobbyist potter, and his younger brother, Guy, while his mother, Joan, a professional photographer, left the family years ago to live with her partner, Dawn. As Chris grapples with his fear of a potential pregnancy, he asks his father about his own failed marriage and decides to reach out to his mother. Meanwhile, Chris plans to study English at Newcastle University, while Helen hopes to attend a music university in Manchester. Just before he is set to leave for college in the fall, Chris receives a package of letters from Helen, whose handwriting he immediately recognizes. The letters, which span the 9 months of Helen's pregnancy, are each named after a month of the year, beginning with January. In February, Helen takes a pregnancy test that comes back negative. After another negative result, she finds herself at a crossroads, unsure of what to do. Helen lives with her strict mother Alice, a banker, her father Ted, a jazz musician and university librarian, her younger brother Robbie, her grandfather, and her grandmother Nan. As soon as Helen suspects she may be pregnant, she begins writing letters to her unborn child, each one beginning with Dear Nobody. These letters reflect her internal struggle and the difficult choices she faces as she grapples with the reality of her situation. In her first letter, Helen writes, "You're only a whisper. Leave me alone. Go away. Go away. Please, please, go away." Over time, she becomes more distant from Chris, eventually severing all contact with him so that she can deal with the pregnancy on her own while he moves on to college. Chris supports Helen's decision no matter what, even as she struggles with the complexities of her situation. Fearing that her pregnancy will ruin her chances of attending university, Helen attempts to induce a miscarriage by forcing a horse into a jarring gallop. In April, Helen's mother, Alice, discovers the pregnancy and urges her to either have an abortion or put the baby up for adoption. Ted, Helen's father, agrees that she is too young to raise a child, while other members of the family encourage her to keep the baby. Despite their objections, Alice takes Helen to an abortion clinic, but Helen walks out, secretly deciding to keep the child and raise it herself. Enraged, Alice forbids Chris from entering the Garton household, though Helen continues to meet him in private. Later, Helen and Chris visit Chris's mother Joan in Carlisle, where Chris learns that his mother left the family for reasons far less selfish than he had assumed. In late June, Helen and Chris take their A-level exams. Once they're finished, Helen tells Chris that she thinks they should end their relationship for both their sakes. Chris feels a deep sadness and regret, and to escape his grief, he travels to France with his best friend, Tom. There, Chris meets Bryn, a Welsh girl who becomes interested in him. Despite their growing connection, Chris finds he cannot forget or replace Helen. In September, Helen uncovers the reason for her mother's harsh opposition to her pregnancy. It turns out Alice was born out of wedlock in a time of severe social stigma, an experience that has left her emotionally scarred. With this understanding, Helen begins to see her mother in a new light. When Helen's labor begins on September 30th, she feels compelled to send Chris the bundle of Dear Nobody letters she's written to their unborn child. Helen has her brother, Robbie, deliver the letters. Upon receiving them, Chris is saddened by the realization that Helen believes he has become nobody to her over the past months. As he reads the letters, though, he realizes that the baby is on its way. Chris rushes to the hospital and arrives just in time to be with Helen as she gives birth to their daughter, whom she names Amy. In addition to Dear Nobody, Berlie Doherty has written many other books for children and young adults, including White Peak Farm, Children of Winter, Granny Was a Buffer Girl, which also won the Carnegie Award, Street Child, The Snake Stone, The Snow Queen, and many more. Doherty has also written numerous picture books, storybooks, short story collections, and poetry collections. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.